Abhishek, are we live? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us today for this webinar on how to navigate election volatility. I would request you to kindly stay tuned. We will wait for 60 more seconds. Let us allow few of our more friends to join this webinar. And after next 60 seconds, we will again start this presentation. So kindly please stay tuned for this webinar. Yeah, I think we should start now. I once again welcome you all on behalf of SBI Securities for this webinar on how to navigate election volatility. And again, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you each and everyone for taking time out from your busy schedule and joining for this webinar today. So we all know that since last 2 to 3 months, the market has been trading in a very range-bound fashion. Nifty is trading between 21,700 on a lower side and 22,700 to 800 band. So that's the very close range, 1,000 point band as far as Nifty is concerned. However, what we have seen is that there is a lot of stock-specific activity which is going on in the equity market. And now we are just a 9 to 10 session trading session away from outcome of election, general election which is going on. And at the same time, we have to keep in mind that already till 13th of May, 70% of the seat, the fate of 70% of the seat has already been sealed. And now one more big round will go undergo voting on 20th of May. And after that, then there are two small election phases. And I feel the 1st of June, which is the last election phase, there that is the Saturday evening, right? There we will see outcome of exit poll, and to that extent, market will react to that exit poll on 3rd of June. The actual result of election will be seen on 4th of June. But what we believe is that based on the outcome of exit poll, the market will start discounting on Monday itself, that is on 3rd of June, right? So without wasting much time, so what we have done in this webinar, we have tried to cover various aspects. So first of all, I forgot to introduce myself. So I am Sunny Agrawal. I am heading fundamental desk at SBI Securities, and joining my friend and colleague Sudeep Shah. He heads technical and derivatives. So we both will try to address all your queries when we complete this webinar. And we will try to guide you how to position ourselves from a short to medium term perspective, which are the various scenarios which are likely to pan out as far as election is concerned, and what should be our strategy to hedge our portfolio in case we have got a significantly large portfolio on the cash side. Yes. Without wasting much time, I would request Sudeep to take us through the technical and derivatives parameter, how they are looking at a current juncture, and what are the various strategies that can be used by our clients, our friends in the market, so that they can safeguard from the extreme volatility which we are witnessing in the market since last 2 3 weeks. Over to you, Sudeep.
Yeah. So thank you, Sunny, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to this webinar on how to tackling volatility during this election period, and how we should be using this volatility for our benefit, and how we can be making ourselves a bit of insulated during this heightened volatility period. So I feel during the session we would be discussing on the trends of how the markets have behaved during the past elections, as well as how the volatility then it was shaping up. So these will be the broader discussion points, the past market trends in election, as well as the volatility behavior. And apart from understanding the behavior of India VIX during the past elections, we will also be discussing a way to decode what could be the next potential move in the markets, as well as what could be the market's reaction to this event with respect to the number of seats. What could be the reaction, in which sectors there could be more funds flow going post the election, or which sectors could be in momentum and in flavor. See, friends, what I feel is, while we need to be a bit careful with the volatility in the next 3 weeks, all these intermediate dips that are being offered on account of choppiness would act as a really, really good opportunity from an investor standpoint, from a medium to long term perspective. So while it is okay from a trader's perspective, if someone has seen today's market, it was quite choppy, although at the end when we are seeing Nifty is up 200 points, but in between there were huge spikes, and it was 100 point spikes either side. So these spikes may be a bit unnerving for a trader, but from an investor standpoint, you get good stocks at bargain prices on dips. So I guess one needs to take benefit of the volatility in a positive manner. We believe that in the medium term, global trends also would be equally important along with the outcome of the election event. So we should not only be worried about the election volatility or the VIX rising because of the lower voter turnout or that kind of narratives that are being shared recently, but it is equally important to keep an eye on the global setup also, because if the global setup is not weakening, if you're not seeing any weakness on global front, and only the volatility is on account of the election uncertainty, then steadily the markets will form a decent base at lower levels, and you could see a decent up move in the markets post the election result. So that needs to be factored in. However, let's delve in the past and understand what has been the market trend 6 months pre and post election. And the only thing apart from this is apart from seeing this chart which is coming up right now. Now, if you see here, just see the global trend. This is during the 2009 election. Here, prior to the in between, there are three boxes here. The small box in between is the election time period, and the first box is 6 months prior to the election time period, how the Nifty has behaved. So if you see initial few months, it was ranging on the way down, but steadily, say a couple of months before election, the market trend started becoming positive. The lot of momentum, positive momentum was witnessed, and this momentum carried on. It was carried on even post the elections for the next 6 months. But what is important is that even the global markets were supportive during this period. Now, come to 2014, similar structure, up move, then the elections, and then the up move continuing. So you may see some kind of volatility during the election period, but if one historically sees how the returns post the elections have been, if you see it from a 6 months time period or the 12 months time period, markets have generally offered us a good return post the elections. So that needs to be factored in here. The 2019, if you see here, prior to the election, there was an up move. During the election, there was some weakness, and post the 3 months time period, there was some weakness in the global markets also, and even the Indian markets had corrected. And immediately post this correction, if someone remembers, in 2019 September, I guess, there was a corporate tax cut, and once again the markets went on to make a new life high. So all in all, in a nutshell, I feel we should not be worrying too much on the election results. Maybe say 350 seats, 300 seats, 350, 380, 340. It may just cause a knee-jerk reaction for a while. But believe me, with the kind of fundamentals now, Sunny will be in a better place to explain you why this could even pan out, and we could see a bigger rally on cards, or the markets being more constructive from here on. But history says that the markets post the elections have generally been trending upwards, and the only important thing is that the global markets have to be supportive here. Now let us also see what historically the India VIX has reacted. Now, see what happens is that lot of times whenever these kind of events come, there is always a spike in volatility. But the reason behind this spike in volatility is because of uncertainty. No market participants on this earth would like uncertainty. No one would like uncertainty even in their lives. So what is currently happening is that there is a lot of see, we know what could be the outcome of the event. It's just that the way the markets are trading right now, it is giving us a good signal of what could be coming. But the volatility, because of the lower voter turnout or those kind of narratives, it is just causing a spike in volatility and just this uncertainty factor. So what is the extent of fear that we should be instilling within ourselves, or how should we look at this from a positive perspective? And let us understand the historical trends of volatility index. Now just see 2014 election. Volatility index started moving from lower zone, say in the month of early March, and till May it went to 39, I guess. Yes, in 2014 it spiked to 38 levels, but immediately after the event it crashed on the downside. Just see 2019 election, similar reaction here. From say a level of 12 13, it went up to 28 29, and once again immediately after the election there was a crash in volatility. So two things here. Now you would see markets rising, you would see volatility rising, but immediately after the event, as soon as the uncertainty is over, आपको यहाँ पे क्या होगा कि आपको वॉलेटिलिटी टूटती हुई नजर आएगी, और जो अनसर्टेनिटी खत्म हो जाती है ना, तो मार्केट में से जो फियर है वो खत्म हो जाता है. तो इसके वजह से जो डर निकला है, तो आप देखोगे कि विक्स में आप एक क्रैक देखोगे. एंड मैं आपको इसको अगर एक क्लासिक एक एग्जांपल के साथ आपको अगर कंपेयर करना है, तो क्या होता है कि जैसे एक स्टूडेंट होता है जो एग्जाम देने के लिए जाता है, तो उसको ये लग रहा है कि मुझे अराउंड 85 मार्क्स आएंगे 100 में से. अगर उसके जगह पे उसको 70 भी आ गए तो वो बहुत बड़ा नेगेटिव नहीं रहने वाला है. और आप साथ में अगर ये देखोगे कि अगर वो 35 एक्सपेक्ट कर रहा था और 70 मिलने वाला है, मिल गया उसको, तो भी उसके लिए वो नेगेटिव नहीं है. But the only negative could be that that student who is expecting 85 out of 100 marks is getting 35, is getting 45 or 50, and he fails. Then there is some kind of a disappointment, and that is when here in our current market scenario, तब जाके वो volatility एक level से ज़्यादा ऊपर जाएगी. Friends, what we need to understand is even see here in 2024. Now in the prior two elections in 2014 and 2019 अगर हम देखें, तो विक्स मार्च मंथ से एक अपमूव में आ चुका था, और मार्च मंथ से आपको विक्स में एक स्पाइक दिखा था और वॉलेटिलिटी वहीं से बढ़ना चालू हो गई थी. बट यहाँ पे इन द करंट सिनेरियो, करंट इलेक्शन 2024, आप देखिए कि अप्रैल एंड से वॉलेटिलिटी में बढ़त चालू हुई है. और पिछले जो दो इलेक्शंस हुए थे ना, 2014 में विक्स 39 तक गया था, 2019 में विक्स 29-28 के आसपास से रिवर्स हो गया था, और यहाँ पे भी हम देख रहे हैं अभी भी ये 20-21 के करीब जा रहा है. जो मुझे लग रहा है यहाँ पे हम शायद से 24 और 26 के लेवल्स तक भी वॉलेटिलिटी जा सकता है. बट जो विक्स का जो एक अनसर्टेनिटी का लेवल था ना, हर इलेक्शन में ये विक्स में अनसर्टेनिटी कम हो रही है. तो आपको क्या होगा कि आने वाले कुछ सेशंस में ये 20, 22, 24 के विक्स में आपको इंट्राडे स्पाइक्स बहुत मिलेंगे, 30, 40, 50, 60 पॉइंट्स के, जैसे आज हमने देखे. बट ऑन अ होल अगर मैं आपको पोजिशनली बताऊं, तो इसको आप निफ्टी के साथ अगर कोरिलेट करें, तो आपको खाली एक लेवल माइंड में रखना है, 21,700, 21,800 का जो जोन है, कि वो जो एक इंपॉर्टेंट सपोर्ट जोन है, कि फरवरी, मार्च, अप्रैल और मई, आपको ये 3-4 महीने के जो स्विंग लोज है वो यही जोन पे है. तो जब तक ये इंपॉर्टेंट की सपोर्ट नहीं टूटता तब तक मे बी आपको वॉलेटिलिटी चॉपीनेस रहेगी 21,700 से लेके 22,500 के बीच में, 22,700 के बीच में निफ्टी 1000 पॉइंट के अंदर ट्रेड भी करेगा और विक्स 21-22 पे भी रहेगा, पर हर डिप पे आपको एक अच्छा अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलेगा टू ऐड गुड क्वालिटी स्टॉक्स। अब एक और इंटरेस्टिंग ऑब्जर्वेशन जो हमने देखा था कि सॉरी 2008 से 2 बार ऐसा हुआ है जब वॉलेटिलिटी इंडेक्स 40 को क्रॉस कर गया है और वो दोनों बार निफ्टी में 40% का करेक्शन हमने देखा है। सो ये दोनों बार जो मतलब एक 2008 में और एक 2020 में, 2008 में क्या था, फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस था, सब प्राइम क्राइसिस, एंड 2020 में कोविड था। अब ये दोनों चीज काइंड ऑफ अ ब्लैक स्वान इवेंट्स है। तो ये ब्लैक स्वान इवेंट जब होता है ना तभी जाके विक्स अब 39-40 के ऊपर सस्टेन करता है। जब इतना वॉलेटिलिटी होता है तो करेक्शन बहुत लाजमी है। सो यू कैन नॉट equate every instance, every rise in VIX to that kind of volatility। तो आपको ये देखना है कि इन द पास्ट ऐसे कितने इंस्टेंसेस हुए हैं जब VIX 15 से लेके 28, 30 और 35 तक गया है। तो जब हमने ये देखा तो उसमें ऐसे 9 बार हुआ है जब VIX 20 से 40 तक गया हो, या 15 से 35, 15 से 30 और 15 से 40 तक गया हो। उसमें से 6 बार निफ्टी ने करेक्शंस दिखाए जो 10 से 15% के बीच में रहा है, और 3 बार निफ्टी ने गेन्स दिखाए थे जो 12 से 20% के आसपास एवरेज गेन्स रहे थे। और ये जो 3 बार, जो ये 9 बार में जो विक्स 20 से 40 के बीच में था और जहां पे गेन्स हुए ये 3 बार, उसमें से 2 बार इलेक्शंस के टाइम थे। तो जो हमारे मन में डर है ना दैट बिकॉज ऑफ इलेक्शन द विक्स इज राइजिंग, माइट बी समथिंग अनसर्टेन हैपन, इट इज जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ द इवेंट अनसर्टेनिटी। The rise in VIX has nothing to do with the potential results of the election। तो वहां पे आप उसको, आप ये डर में मत रहिए, just look out for constructive opportunities within these times of high volatility। और जब जब मार्केट में भले वो दिन के टाइम में वो आधा एक घंटे का ऐसा फेज हो जहां पे बहुत बड़ा आपको लग रहा है कि 40-50 पॉइंट, 100 पॉइंट, 200 पॉइंट का हिट आया है, वो पैनिक वाला मोड है, वहां पे यू शुड बी लुकिंग आउट फॉर गुड क्वालिटी स्टॉक्स फ्रॉम अ मीडियम टू लॉन्ग टर्म परस्पेक्टिव। तो जो मैंने आपको बोला 3 जो ओकेजन है जहां पे उसमें से 2 बार निफ्टी ने गेन दिया था और वहां पे इलेक्शन इवेंट था, लेकिन बाकी के जो 6 बार थे जहां पे निफ्टी ने लॉस किया था, निफ्टी में आपने लॉस देखा था, करेक्शन देखा था, उसमें से 4 बार ग्लोबल मार्केट्स वेर आल्सो इन अ बिग डाउन ट्रेंड। सो this brings us to one observation and conclusion that rising VIX standalone may not hurt Indian markets beyond a particular point, but अगर राइजिंग विक्स के साथ अगर वीकनेस है ग्लोबल मार्केट में, देन मार्केट्स में आपको करेक्शन दिख सकता है। अब थोड़ा सीट काउंट्स क्या क्या आउटकम हो सकता है उसके बारे में एक बार हम ये देखते हैं कि अब ये देखिए कि अगर बीजेपी के सीट्स अगर 350 के ऊपर आते हैं जो रूलिंग करंट गवर्नमेंट है, और एनडीए नियर 400, तो मार्केट का रिएक्शन वुड बी अ बिग थम्स अप। स्ट्रॉन्ग मेजॉरिटी आई बीजेपी की, एनडीए आल्सो अराउंड 350, then also it will be completely bullish। So it will be say kind of bullish to range, strong bullish। Majority आई NDA near 300, it would be kind of a neutral event। But in all these events जहां पे current government is there in power with a decent majority, तो आपके जो अभी के करंट थीम्स जो चल रहे मार्केट में, जो पुश जो गवर्नमेंट ने दिया है, रेलवेज, डिफेंस, इंफ्रा, ऑटो, आपका ईवी पॉलिसीज, ये सारे सेक्टर्स जो है, हाउसिंग, ट्रैवल, यहाँ पे आपको एक बहुत ही बढ़िया मोमेंटम देख सकते हैं। बस खाली इश्यू कहाँ पे आएगा, अगर ये कोएलिशन गवर्नमेंट है या चेंज इन गवर्नमेंट है, तो वो थोड़ा सा मार्केट के लिए, कोएलिशन गवर्नमेंट कुड बी अ बिट न्यूट्रल टू बेरिश, बट चेंज इन गवर्नमेंट कुड बी स्ट्रांगली बेरिश। तो दिस इज काइंड ऑफ the scenarios that we have just presented, what could happen। and ये तो हमें 1 जून को जो एग्जिट पोल है और 4 जून को जो एक्चुअल रिजल्ट्स है उसके बाद ही पता चलेंगे। बट सेक्टर्स आप ध्यान में रखिए, जो सिनेरियोज होंगे उसमें ये सेक्टर्स आपके लिए यूजफुल होंगे। अब निफ्टी का जो पास्ट परफॉर्मेंस, हमने जो निफ्टी के बारे में डिस्कस किया, 2009 में 6 महीने, इलेक्शन के 6 महीने पहले निफ्टी ने, ये जो ब्लू बार है, 43% गेन्स आपको दिखाए थे, और 1 महीने के बाद 18%, और 6 महीने के बाद अगर इलेक्शन के रिजल्ट डेट से 6 मंथ्स का अगर डेट पकड़े तो इट इज अराउंड 36%। द सिमिलर स्टोरी इज विद 2014, ऑल्दो गेन्स कम है, 16% 6 मंथ्स बिफोर, 16% 6 मंथ्स आफ्टर, तो यहाँ पे भी आपको अच्छा डिसेंट गेन मिला है। 2019 द बेस वाज क्वाइट हायर कंपेयर टू 2009 एंड 14, तो वहां पे 6 मंथ्स पहले ही आपका एक प्री इलेक्शन रैली आ गया था 10%, एंड उसके बाद 6 महीने में अगर आप ओवरऑल देखें तो 2-2.5% का गेन था। बट ये 2019 का अगर आप सिनेरियो देखें तो यहाँ पे रिजल्ट्स के बाद थोड़ा करेक्शन भी आया था, उसके बाद जो कॉर्पोरेट टैक्स कट आया था वहां पे वो एक ही कैंडल में मेरे ख्याल से कुछ 3-4 दिन में 1000 पॉइंट निफ्टी का राइज आया था, तो सारा फैक्टर करिए तो 2-2.5%। तो ऑल इन ऑल आपको क्या है पता है, मार्केट में इलेक्शन का जो डर है वो एक अपॉर्चुनिटी बन के आपको लेना चाहिए उसको। यू शुड नॉट बी वरिंग टू मच अबाउट एक्सट्रीम नेगेटिव पॉसिबिलिटीज, बिकॉज मार्केट कुछ और सिग्नल कर रहा है अभी। मार्केट में शायद से सेक्टर्स टर्न होंगे, आपको सेक्टर्स अभी ऑटो लीड कर रहा है, तो मे बी थोड़े दिनों के बाद अगर एफएमसीजी में भी हम मोमेंटम देख रहे हैं, धीरे धीरे स्पाइक हो रहा है मोमेंटम, अर्ली साइंस है, मतलब धीरे धीरे आपके सेक्टर रोटेशन होंगे। जैसे आज आईटी का अगर आप देखें तो आज आईटी में अच्छा एक बाउंस बैक आया है, तो मार्केट को सपोर्ट करने वाले सेक्टर्स बहुत है, बहुत सारे स्टॉक्स है, बहुत सारे इंडेक्स के कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट्स है जो अभी तक बहुत ज्यादा एक रेंज में रहे हैं। रिलायंस की बात कर लीजिए आप, इवन बैंकिंग की बात कर लीजिए, तो द मार्केट इज ओनली वेटिंग फॉर दिस इलेक्शन अनसर्टेनिटी टू गेट ओवर। Rest the global markets are doing fairly good, so we need to have a say a total picture, a complete picture. और one more important thing now, what is from a global perspective अगर आप देखिए तो see S&P 500 is making new highs on a daily basis। ये कहाँ से आ रहा है कि आप देखिए कि डॉलर इंडेक्स हैज क्रैक्ड टू 104 लेवल्स। इट एड few months back 106, 106.5, 106.7 तक चला गया था, वहां से अच्छा कूल ऑफ आया, तो योर इट इज काइंड ऑफ सपोर्टिव फॉर योर करेंसी ऑल्सो। तो lot of factors are there। Brent crude oil is also trading closer to 83-84 dollars a barrel, which is quite stable। तो यहाँ पे ये जो सारे जो variables है ना, which is election is an important event, but ये सारे जो variables है ना, ये generally in totality they turn out to be quite important अगर आप देखें तो। और यहाँ पे calmness है, यहाँ पे इनफैक्ट इंडिया के लिए एक better opportunity लग रही है मुझे, तो मुझे लग रहा है we should be a bit constructive and going into the election results also, and post that we should be looking at good quality stocks from outperforming sectors। Now just in case someone is too worrying about the potential outcome और उनको लग रहा है बड़ा करेक्शन आ सकता है या क्या हो सकता है, तो हमने यहाँ पे एक बेसिक एक टेम्पलेट बनाया है जहाँ पे आप अगर आपका क्या जो पोर्टफोलियो वैल्यू है तो आपको कितने लॉट्स का हेजिंग करना चाहिए वो पर्सपेक्टिव से। तो अभी समझिए कल के प्राइसेस के हिसाब से तो अगर 10 लाख का पोर्टफोलियो है आपका, तो निफ्टी का आज का वैल्यू कितना है, अगर आप 25 के लॉट साइज के साथ आप करें 22,200, तो इट इज समवेयर अराउंड 5.5 लाख, 5.5 लाख। तो 10 lakhs का पोर्टफोलियो, तो यू विल रिक्वायर 2 लॉट्स। निफ्टी जो वैल्यू है 5.5 लाख, तो आप 10 लाख के आसपास 2 लॉट होते हैं, तो आपको 10 लाख का पोर्टफोलियो, तो आपको 22,000 के जो एट द मनी या स्लाइटली आउट ऑफ द मनी का जो पुट होगा, आपको वो 2 लॉट्स लेने हैं। और दिस इज अराउंड आपका जो प्रीमियम कॉस्ट होगा वो 19,000 होगा। तो इट इज रफली 1.5 to 2% ऑफ द टोटल पोर्टफोलियो वैल्यू, 1.5%। बट व्हाट इट विल डू इज, अगर बड़ा करेक्शन आया तो पुट्स की वैल्यू बढ़ जाएगी, आपको जो ओवरऑल पोर्टफोलियो में लॉस होगा वहां पे कुछ हद तक आपको इट विल बी सैल्वेज्ड। Now, similarly, there are different structures for 25 lakhs, 50 lakhs, 75 lakhs, 1 crore, 1.5 crore। तो ये number of lots इतने आप ले सकते हो। Now, यहाँ पे इसमें important चीज आपको क्या है, you should never be even thinking कि ये puts में मुझे कितना पैसा बने, how profitable these puts will be, because ये puts में तब पैसा बनेगा जब एक लेवल से ज्यादा निफ्टी टूट चुका होगा, तब जाके पुट्स प्रॉफिटेबल होगा, तो पोर्टफोलियो में भी उतना ही डेंट रहेगा। तो दिस हेजिंग शुड नेवर बी डन फ्रॉम अ व्यू ऑफ मेकिंग मनी, इट इज ओनली सेफगार्डिंग योर इन्वेस्टमेंट्स अप टू अ पर्टिकुलर लिमिट। समझिए अगर 10 लाख में से अगर आपका 50,000 का पोर्टफोलियो में डेंट आता है, तो maybe puts would be helpful to you to the extent of 25-27,000। half of that loss can be salvaged at the max। so this is the history, मतलब ये इतने सालों का एक्सपीरियंस है मैं जो आपको बता रहा हूँ। बट नेवर एवर थिंक फ्रेंड्स, कभी इसको ये तरीके से मत सोचिएगा कि मैंने हेजिंग किया तो हेजिंग में भी मुझे पैसा बनना चाहिए। अब जब भी एक मेडिक्लेम, इसको एक आप ए तरीके से भी सोच सकते हो, whenever you buy मेडिक्लेम फॉर योर हेल्थ, do you even think that I should be exercising this मेडिक्लेम या इसका फायदा उठाना है मुझे? तो मेडिक्लेम हमेशा यही होता है कि एक अनसर्टन टाइम के लिए आपके लिए होता है, तो ये हेजिंग भी एक अनसर्टन टाइम, ब्लैक स्वॉन इवेंट्स को बोलते हैं कि सडनली निफ्टी 500 पॉइंट टूट गया, 1000 पॉइंट टूट गया, तो वहां पे आपको अपने आप को कैसे बचाओगे आप? तो उसके लिए आपको ये तैयारी करनी है। जैसे मेडिक्लेम का पॉलिसी आप कुछ होने से पहले ही लोगे ना, अगर कुछ हो गया उसके बाद तो मेडिक्लेम आपके कोई फायदे में नहीं आएगा। तो सिमिलरली आपको हेजिंग भी वैसे ही करनी है दोस्तों। तो आप हेजिंग करिए। इनफैक्ट मैं आपको और एक चीज बताता हूँ कि इवन आफ्टर दिस सेशन इफ यू रिक्वायर एनी हेल्प रिगार्डिंग योर पोर्टफोलियो या हेजिंग कैसे करना है, तो आई वुड बी पोस्ट दिस सेशन, आई वुड बी पुटिंग द रिसर्च ईमेल आईडी, सो दैट आप इसके ऊपर आप अपना जो भी आपका कमेंट से आपको कुछ भी हेल्प चाहिए, आप यू कुड पुट इट देयर एंड वी वुड बी रिस्पॉन्डिंग बैक इमीडिएटली. Now, from a derivative standpoint, now a lot of since we know that a lot of our friends are regularly trading in derivatives, जो आप जितने भी हमारे clients हैं बहुत ज़्यादा derivative आजकल, in fact markets में lot of participation has increased and it's widespread. But see, making money is okay, but during the events, प्रॉफिट लॉसेस अनसर्टन होते हैं. इवन जो सबसे अच्छा ट्रेडर होगा ना, वो भी ये इवेंट में लॉस कर सकता है. तो इवेंट्स में क्या होता है कि आपको सबसे ज्यादा रिस्क जो होता है वो चीजों से आपको थोड़ा संभाल के काम करना होगा. अब जैसे आप देखिए जो नेकेड शॉर्ट कॉल्स बेचते हैं, कॉल पुट बेच के बैठ जाता है, तो आज के केस में एक क्लासिक एग्जांपल है, जब 22,200 के आसपास निफ्टी पूरे दिन ट्रेड कर रहा था, 22,150 से लेकर 22,250 के बीच में, तो किसी ने अगर 22,250 का कॉल बेच दिया ये सोच के कि अब इसके ऊपर थोड़ी जाने वाला है, और लास्ट में इफ यू सी दैट 10-15 रुपीज का जो कॉल जो उन्होंने बेचा होगा वो 22,420 पे कम से कम 160-180 रुपीज का हो गया होगा. तो यहाँ पे यू गेट एन अनलिमिटेड लॉस इफ यू आर अ प्लेन वेनिला कॉल सेलर. आप अगर ऑप्शन सेलर हो विदाउट हेजिंग तो आपको अनलिमिटेड लॉसेस भी लग सकते हैं. डजंट मैटर यू सेल नेकेड कॉल्स, नेकेड पुट्स, आप कुछ भी बेचिए, अगर आपने स्टॉप लॉस नहीं लगाया तो इट कुड रिजल्ट इनटू अनलिमिटेड लॉस. सो माय टू रिक्वेस्ट फ्रॉम अ ट्रेडिंग पर्सपेक्टिव, जब भी आप कॉल पुट बेचे तो उसको आइदर इंट्राडे करें, अगर एंड साथ में आप उसको एक स्टॉप लॉस के साथ ट्रेड करें. और यदि आप इसको कैरी फॉरवर्ड करते हो तो कैरी फॉरवर्ड में आप स्टॉप लॉस तो नहीं लगा सकते, तो आपको क्या करना है कि आपको इसका एक हेज क्रिएट करके, जैसे अगर आप 22,200 का कॉल बेचते हो, निफ्टी इज एट 22,200, आप 22,400 का कॉल बेचते हो, तो साथ में ऊपर का एक कॉल खरीद लीजिए 22,500 का, सो दैट बियॉन्ड अ पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट अगर निफ्टी में गैप अप हो गया 300-400 पॉइंट और आपका 22,400 का जो कॉल बेचा हुआ है वो नुकसान आपको देता है, तो आपके पास 22,500 का खरीदा हुआ कॉल है जो निफ्टी के साथ बढ़ते जाएगा, तो देयर वुड ओनली बी अ लिमिटेड लॉस. तो एज अ ट्रेडर अवर जॉब कैन नॉट बी टू प्रिडिक्ट द आउटकम ऑफ द मार्केट्स, की मार्केट क्या करेगा, 200 पॉइंट 500 पॉइंट ऊपर जाएगा या 1000 पॉइंट नीचे जाएगा, व्हाट कुड बी द impact on a day, minute to minute basis. But what you can do is you can at least hedge your positions and keep it safe. पैसा कितना कमाना है वो आपको समझ जाएगा. अगर आपने कॉल बेच के कॉल खरीदा है आगे, तो आपको पता है कि आपका रिस्क कितना है अगर आपका व्यू गलत गया तो, और अगर आपका व्यू सही गया तो आपका जो प्रॉफिट है वो भी कितना लिमिटेड है. बट दैट सिनेरियो इज फार मोर बेटर इन कंपैरिजन टू अनलिमिटेड लॉसेस वाला सिनेरियो, जो आपके बस में ही नहीं होगा अगर अगले दिन सुबह गैप अप या गैप डाउन हुआ और आपका पोजीशन उससे उल्टा हुआ तो ये चीजों का थोड़ा ध्यान रखिए. ऑप्शन बाइंग में आप जब भी बाइंग करो या सेलिंग, ऑप्शन बाइंग में आप जब भी कॉल खरीदे या पुट खरीदे तो इसका ध्यान रखिएगा कि बी क्विक इन बुकिंग प्रॉफिट्स ऑल्सो, बिकॉज 20, 22, 25 का जो वॉलेटिलिटी इंडेक्स होता है वहां पे जितनी जल्दी एक मूव ऊपर आता है निफ्टी का 50 पॉइंट और एट द मनी का कॉल अगर 20-25 पॉइंट ऑप्शन बढ़ता है और निफ्टी वहां से फिजल आउट हो गया तो ऑप्शन का प्रीमियम बहुत जल्दी डीके होना भी चालू हो जाएगा, आपका प्रीमियम भी फिजल आउट हो जाएगा. तो बी क्विक इन ट्रेडिंग. इफ यू आर अ ट्रेडर ऑफ ऑप्शंस, इंडेक्स ऑप्शंस, तो यू नीड टू हैव दैट एक्स्ट्रा क्विकनेस इन द नेक्स्ट 15 days. एंड फ्यू ऑल्दो बहुत बार ये सारी बातें होती है, हम बहुत बार आपके साथ ये शेयर करते हैं, बट दोस्तों मैं एक और बार वापस आपके लिए, मतलब इट्स काइंड ऑफ अ रिमाइंडर, इट्स काइंड ऑफ एन अलार्म जो मैं आपके लिए वापस ये बता रहा हूँ कि कम लेवरेज के साथ ट्रेड करिएगा अभी फॉर द नेक्स्ट 15 days. मार्केट कहीं नहीं भागे जा रहा है, आपके लिए यही मार्केट 4 जून के बाद भी रहेगा, यही अपॉर्चुनिटीज रहेगी और यही स्टॉक्स रहेंगे और यही इंडेक्स रहेगा. बट अगर आपने लेवरेज ज्यादा ले लिया जो आप संभाल नहीं पाओगे, और वॉलेटिलिटी की वजह से इवन आपका व्यू राइट हो बट बीच बीच में स्टॉप लॉसेस लग गए या कुछ हुआ, तो इट कुड लीड टू सम काइंड ऑफ अ कैपिटल इरोजन ऑल्सो। तो मुझे लग रहा है कि थोड़ा लेवरेज कम, पोजीशन साइजिंग ढंग से करेंगे तो इट वुड बी रियली रियली, ये पीरियड बहुत अच्छे से निकल जाएगा। थोड़ी हेजिंग स्ट्रेटेजीज करिए। अगर कोई स्टॉक फ्यूचर का ट्रेडर है, कोई आप स्टॉक फ्यूचर में ट्रेड करते हो, इफ यू आर ट्रेडिंग इन स्टॉक फ्यूचर्स, सो फॉर एग्जांपल इफ यू आर बाइंग अ फ्यूचर ऑफ इन्फोसिस फॉर अ रिवर्सल पर्सपेक्टिव, तो आप एट द मनी का पुट खरीद दीजिए। तो बियॉन्ड अ पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट आपने अपना डाउन साइड कैप कर दिया, और आपको सिर्फ ये अपसाइड, अगर स्टॉक जब जाएगा तब पैसा बनेगा, और अगर गलत भी गए तो एक लिमिटेड लॉस के साथ आप वो एग्जिट कर पाओगे। बिकॉज स्टॉक फ्यूचर्स में भी अगर दिन में 4-5% का भी अगर स्टॉक में कहीं पे मूव आ जाता है तो इट कुड बी अ बिग मार्क टू मार्केट। तो यहाँ पे मुझे लग रहा है कि आपको थोड़ा हेजिंग वाले फंडा पे थोड़ा ज्यादा काम करना चाहिए। ऑप्शंस में भी थोड़े स्प्रेड्स करिए। नेकेड ऑप्शंस जब बेच रहे हैं वो इंट्राडे करिए विद अ स्टॉप लॉस। इफ यू आर टेकिंग इट फॉर द नेक्स्ट डे, आप वहां पे भी नेकेड ऑप्शंस को भी हेज करके चलिए, तो दैट कुड एटलीस्ट रिड्यूस योर प्रोबेबिलिटी टू मेक अ हायर लॉस बियॉन्ड योर एक्सपेक्टेशंस। और स्टॉप लॉसेस को थोड़ा रिस्पेक्ट करिए, बिकॉज जनरली क्या होता है एज अ ट्रेडर, हमने अगर कोई ट्रेड किया तो हमारे माइंड में ये आ जाता है यार मैं गलत कैसे हो सकता हूँ। एनीवन कैन बी रॉन्ग इन द मार्केट्स, देयर इज नो होली ग्रेल कि नहीं आपने ट्रेड किया या आपने ये सोचा था कि मार्केट ऊपर जाएगा तो वो राइट ही होगा। अनसर्टन मूव्स आ जाएंगे तो आपको एक लिमिट रख देनी होगी स्टॉप लॉस की कि हाँ बियॉन्ड दिस पॉइंट आई विल नॉट टेक एनी फर्दर लॉस। तो जनरली क्या होता है कि एक ही ट्रेड में किसी का बड़ा लॉस हो गया तो रिकवरी बिकम्स डिफिकल्ट, बट इन केस यू मेंटेन दैट रिस्क रिवॉर्ड रेशियो इट वुड बी रियली हेल्पफुल टू यू फ्रॉम अ लॉन्ग टर्म perspective. So, with that, I would thank you for patiently hearing the session. And now I would request Sunny to help us with the broader picture on the Indian economy and कौन से sectors और stocks पे हमारा ध्यान होना चाहिए even during this election period। ये volatility में कैसे कैसे हमें benefit लेना चाहिए, या volatility ये election के बाद भी कि कौन सी themes चल सकती है। तो over to you, Sunny.
Thanks, Sudeep. So, as Sudeep has walked us through the various strategies on hedging our portfolio for short term, I want us to keep in mind that election in India is not a first-time event, right? Election happens every 5 years in India. Since independence, we have seen government changing every 3 to 5 years, and despite of that, Nifty is trading at lifetime high, right? So government keeps on changing every 5 years, and that's the part and parcel of a democracy. And I feel ultimately markets are something which are linked to the profitability of the corporates which are listed in the economy. And irrespective of government, because of the favorable construct of Indian economy, India is blessed with an opportunity to grow corporate profit at 12 to 15% on a long-term compounded annual growth rate basis. And that is a return which you will see that even in the equity market, those returns are clearly visible. So what I mean to say is that election आते रहेंगे, election जाते रहेंगे, political event ठीक है, short term fluctuation रहता है, बट अल्टीमेटली इफ इकोनॉमी का कंस्ट्रक्ट अच्छा है, इकोनॉमी में ग्रोथ है, तो मार्केट उसको रिवॉर्ड करेगा। हालांकि वोलेटिलिटी रहेगी, नीजक रिएक्शन रहेंगे मार्केट में, शॉर्ट टर्म व्यू के चलते हुए लोग पैनिक करेंगे, बट अगर आप लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टर हो तो डेफिनेटली यू विल डेफिनेटली मेक अ मनी इन द इक्विटी मार्केट। तो डोंट पैनिक। इलेक्शन का जो इवेंट है मे बी अगले 12 से 13 ट्रेडिंग सेशन में ये निकल जाएगा, and gradually we will be back to normal, back to following all the global event and domestic event, and equity markets will relate to that. At the same time, as the Sudeep has already discussed, that as a retail investor, we should reduce our leverage position, large size bet, and avoid taking adventurous bet at a current juncture. Markets are very volatile. There is a big event ahead of us, and as a retail investor, we need to save our hard-earned money. We need to stop aggressive trading, and at the same time, in case you are an compulsion trader, you feel like you need to trade every day, then kindly keep stop losses on both the side, whether on long or short side, and accordingly take your position, right? So what is important is that it is like a cricket match, test match. It is not a 2020 cricket match, right? So you need to, as a batsman, you need to stay longer on the pitch to make maximum run in the test match. This is not a 2020 match where one looking at the election volatility, one should bet his or her hard-earned money at one go and get out of market permanently. So let us sit on the sideline patiently. Let us wait. Let this event be pass, and then probably we can again be ready with our strategy for next 3 to 5 years. Moving on to next slide. So basically, this is a slide which reflects that the growth potential of Indian economy. So as we all know, we have been time and again listening to many experts as well as our honorable Prime Minister that India is going to be the third largest economy by 2030, and this was one of the important aspect as far as BJP's manifesto is concerned that India is going to be the third largest economy. And when we do the math, it's clearly visible that there is no doubt that India can, the current economy, the size of the economy in India is close to $4 trillion. And if you see this chart, this clearly shows that the left hand side of the chart shows the basically what is the market cap of the Indian economy, and the right hand chart shows the timeline of left hand side shows the GDP size of Indian economy, and right hand side of this chart is showing the market cap. So if you see since independence, it took 59 years. So I am referring to the left hand side bar over here, flow chart. So if you see on the left hand side, since independence, it took us 59 years to reach us $1 trillion economy. That is in 2006. After and at the same time, if you see on the right hand side, it took in 2007 Indian equity market hit $1 trillion market cap. Similarly, post that it took us 8 years to climb the next $1 trillion to add next $1 trillion to the economy. That is a $2 trillion GDP that was achieved in year 2014. And on right hand side, you will see that Indian equity market achieved $2 trillion market cap in 2017. Similarly, after that, it took 7 years, including COVID shock, to reach a $3 trillion GDP, that is in 2021. And at a simultaneously, we have seen on right hand side that Indian market cap was also $3 trillion in 2021. As we speak today, the GDP size of Indian economy is close to $3.7 trillion, and the market cap is also close to $4.2 trillion. So this clearly shows that market cap and GDP number goes hand in hand. And now if I assume, if you see on right hand side, if I assume that in next 6 to 7 years, the GDP, India will add close to 3.5 trillion dollar of GDP. Our GDP number will be close to $7 trillion in 2030. And if I take this ratio of 100% of market cap to GDP, then Indian equity market cap can be close to $7 to $8.5 trillion by 2030. This clearly shows that there is a scope of Indian equity market cap to double over the period of next 5 to 6 years, which is a decent 15% compounded annual growth rate. Now, when I say compounded annual growth rate, this is for the overall market cap, right? Now, as an investor, we always have got a liberty to choose sector or stocks which can outperform these indices and deliver 20 or 25% kind of compounded annual growth rate. So the skill lie on identifying good sector, identifying sectors which are in flavor, identifying sector where there is a strong undercurrent in terms of earning growth and hence liquidity flow, and loading up those stocks where there is a clear outperformance rather than sitting on a sector which are underperforming. So overall, what I mean to say is that from this slide is that there is a bright future ahead of us. Election is just one event which will pass by in the next 10 to 12 trading session, and post that market will go back to the normal economic growth data, GDP growth data, profit growth data, what is happening globally, and everyone will forget election after in the span of next 10 to 15 days. Moving on to the again a very broad picture. So when we say that Indian economy will be $7 trillion in the by 2030, so what we feel is that these are the four broad trend which will follow in Indian economy and as well as Indian stock market. One is consumption boom. We all know that every one of us is earning well. We aspire to feel good, look good, and that is the reason the consumption boom is part and parcel of Indian economy. We are the largest consumer of the world. At the same time, with the various government initiatives, gradually we are trying, aspiring to be the factory to the world. So as we all know, right now China is the factory to the world. China is one of the largest producer and supplier of many goods, including cars, machineries, cap goods, any small product, large product. And with the COVID, the entire developed market is trying to create alternative to China, and India is offering them a ready platform supported by the various favorable government policies. To become a factory of the world, India need to improve its infrastructure, both physical and digital, and that is something where we have seen the focus of the government is currently, and that will continue to grow over the period of next 3 to 7 years. And the last but not least, financialization of saving. As we all know, we are gradually shifting our hard-earned money from fixed assets like gold and real estate to the various financial instruments, whether it is share stock market, whether it is directly investing in the stock market, or indirectly through mutual funds or insurance schemes, or at the same time we are parking our money in banks in the form of FD or current account, savings account. So financialization of the saving is another mega trend which we will see that will pan out over the period of next 5 to 7 years. So if you see the broader four mega trend here, here you will find most of the multi-baggers or companies which will deliver a consistent return. So these are the four broad mega trends where we need to focus on, and there will be the many winners which will come out of these four mega trends. Now let us discuss that all these four mega trends and which are the sub sector within this mega theme that will benefit out of that, right? So let us start with the consumption sector. Within consumption sector, what we have seen is that increase in disposable income will lead to the shift in consumption from unbranded to branded product. And what we feel is that the key beneficiaries of this will be consumer durable and appliances company, branded jewelry, watches, accessories company, travel and tourism. A big push from the government on travel and tourism, because travel and tourism has got a significant multiplier effect. So government is creating enabling infrastructure. So recently we have seen a spiritual tourism getting a lot of boost from the government. And at the same time, post COVID, we all like to go out, travel, hang out with friends and family. And this sector is again continue to likely to boom over the period of next few years. Media companies, as many digital platforms are mushrooming, media companies will be the ultimate beneficiary out of that. Branded apparel, we all like to wear good, feel good, and branded apparel is one of the sector which we feel can churn out many multi-bagger return delivery stories over there. Beauty products, packaged food, restaurant, QSR, auto ancillary. Again, auto and auto ancillary is a highly underpenetrated category in India. So that's a big headroom for auto and auto ancillary sector to emerge as a story of a domestic consumption as well as a big platform for export from Indian territory. Tech platform and aggregator like Zomato, PB FinTech, and at the same time seen products like alcoholic beverages. So these are the few sub mega theme within the consumption sector, which we feel can churn out a healthy return over the period of next 5 to 7 years. I will not go into detail in terms of discussing the individual stock idea. For that, we are on a regular basis doing sector specific, stock specific, multiple webinars. So let us restrict this to the sectoral discussion, and on stock specific we can do Q&A session where we will try to address your queries. Moving on to the next slide, that is the mega theme, that is the manufacturing sector, where India is going to the factory to the world. I think the few mega theme will be electronic manufacturing services. So we have seen many mobile companies, or for that matter, television companies, consumer durable companies, washing machine companies, air conditioning companies outsourcing their manufacturing services to Indian domestic companies. And this is one of the sector where we may see many good investment ideas. Semiconductor, a very fast emerging sector at an nascent stage. Again, auto is fits in the manufacturing also. Defense, so we all know many defense companies are flooded with an order. There is a lot of push from the government of India to make indigenous product, and that is helping the defense sector. Textile and apparel, that can be one of the key export growth driver. Renewable energy, chemicals, pharma, industrial machinery, metal mining, metal products, data center related manufacturing, and power equipment. Moving on to the next theme, which is the mega theme, that is an infrastructure. So if any economy has to do well, I think infrastructure is the backbone of economy. And I think to that extent, during the last 10 years, we have seen a massive improvement in infrastructure. And what we believe is that the task is still half done. There is still a long runway in terms of expansion of infrastructure. And what we feel is that companies from EPC, construction companies, construction equipment companies, port operator, logistic, railways, roads, airport, digital transaction enablers. These are the few physical and digital infrastructure subsector that can generate healthy return over the period of next 5 to 7 years. And the last and important mega theme is financialization of saving. So basically, BFSI is the sector which will benefit out of this. So banks and NBFCs, wealth managers, stock broker, exchanges, IT product or services companies offering product to BFSI industry and depositories. So entire BFSI sector will be in a sweet spot if we are going to hit $7 to $8 trillion GDP mark by 2030. So, after discussing the broader thematic broader theme which can outperform over the period of next 5 to 7 years, let us understand which are the key events which we need to focus apart from election over the period of next 3 to 9 months. So, we all know we have been actively tracking the US economy data, and the street is eagerly waiting for rate cut from the big daddy US Fed. As yesterday we have seen that US CPI inflation was in line with expectation, and now the street is expecting that at least there will be two rate cut by December 24 in the current calendar year by the US Fed. Once the US Fed start reducing the rate, we will see a snowball effect that will be seen across the emerging markets. So money will start flowing back from the US bond portfolio to the emerging market equities like India. At the same time, right now the narrative in the US is that inflation is slightly inching up. However, economy continue to do well. Few months back, 2 months back, there was an expectation that there may be a rate hike in US, but again now we are back to rate cut. So the narrative keep on changing, but one of the important parameter which we track is US 10-year bond yield and dollar index. They are both trading very range bound, and that gives a lot of comfort to the emerging markets like India. Election outcome in India, obviously, that's the most awaited event at a current juncture. Right now, the street is discounting that existing government will continue, and hence there will be continuity in the existing government policies. At the same time, we have to keep in mind that US is also undergoing election in the month of November, followed by UK in the month of December. Post this election, the main union budget, which will be scheduled in the month of July, that will be one of the important events to track. And as we speak, there are a lot of geopolitical tension which is going on between Israel, Iran, Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Hamas, US, Iran, Red Sea crisis. So we also need to keep track of what is happening geopolitically and how India is positioning itself in this geopolitical turmoil. China is trying to come back through various economic measures, and that is the reason what we have seen is that of late there has been a shift in foreign institutional investor flow from emerging markets like India to China. So just to share one data point, India is trading at close to 18 times 1 year forward price to earning multiple as compared to China, which is trading at 8 to 10 times price to earning multiple. So China, on a relative valuation basis, is a very cheaper emerging market. And in case there are some sign of revival in Chinese economy, that will give boost to the Indian economy also, especially metals and mining as a sector will also get a boost. In fact, China coming out of slumber will help the entire world GDP to move up because China is a big giant after the US. Now, in terms of return expectation, what I feel is that Nifty may deliver a moderate return of 8 to 12% from the current levels of 22,000. So maybe in terms of valuation, also what we feel is that 24,000, 25,000 is an upper cap as far as Nifty is concerned. But don't get upset. I think the stock specific action will continue, and there will be many money making opportunity, wealth creation opportunity, stock specific, sector specific opportunity which will come. We have already discussed many sectors with you, but I feel ultimately the clear direction will be seen post the outcome of Indian general election. As we speak, majority of the global equity markets are trading close to life high, whether it is US market, Japanese Nikkei. At the same time, volatility may continue post Indian election also, as there are there are multiple global and local events which will pan out over the period of next 3 to 6 months. In terms of euphoria, we have seen euphoria right now in microcap and SME IPO. So stay away from the companies which have got any fundamental growth stories. Anyway, there is some discussion paper which is going on which says that the SEBI may increase the minimum IPO size for SME company to 30 to 50 crore. So that may kill the SME, a small size SME IPO, the bumper listing which we are seeing. So be very cautious on SME IPO side. As we speak, a large cap offers a better risk reward ratio. So if you would have seen many marquee names like ABB, Siemens, Thermax, you name the large cap companies, they have delivered 15 to 20% return over the period of last 3 4 weeks. So when large cap companies are delivering relatively better return as compared to mid cap and small cap with a lower risk proposition, I think that makes sense to be in a quality businesses rather than going for a hearsay or some tip from some friend or some small time operator. So basically, stay away from the companies where there is no earning growth visibility. They may witness a crash. Stock specific money opportunity exists in a fast growing sector. So yeah, that's all from my side. I hope we have been able to add value to you during the last 45 minutes, and open to question and answer session. Kindly start posting your queries on in the chat box. We will try to address as many questions as possible. So the first question is from Mr. Gaurav Ingle. Thanks, Gaurav, for joining this webinar today. Sir, should I buy Bank Nifty call for the election day? Very gutsy call, huh, Gaurav? Over to you, Sudeep.
Thank you so much, Sunny, for your fantastic inputs on how the markets could act. But see, Gaurav, this question, and true that, Sunny, that it's a gutsy question and a gutsy view also, buying a Bank Nifty call from an election perspective. See, Gaurav, I said that if your view is positive, even in the discussion while I was just sharing about strategies, if your view is positive, I feel rather than buying a one-sided plain vanilla call option, going for a bull spread. Might be the spread would be of 300 500 points, but what happens is that here you would not lose 100% of your premium in case your view goes wrong, or in case market is at the same level and it does not say moving up 300 points and coming down in the next 15 minutes, your entire option premium would you'd see a lot of premium decay there. So I feel get safe from this option premium erosion, go in with spreads, whether it is a bull spread, whether it is a bear spread, looking at the trend for the day and for the next few days. But do not at this current point, don't just fix up your mind that हाँ मुझे तेजी करना है या मुझे मंदी करना है. Every day will give you some different trading opportunities. Every day would give you a different momentum on either side, or there may be some rain bound days. But जैसे आज सुबह आपने देखा कि वो सुबह निफ्टी 50 पॉइंट 100 पॉइंट के रेंज में बड़े बड़े स्पाइक्स दे रही थी, लास्ट 1 घंटे में एक बड़ा मूव आया. तो नाउ to buy a naked call and keep holding it till eternity and in between premium erosion हो गया वो देखना है या आपको छोटे छोटे प्रॉफिट्स लेके निकलना है या फिर आप स्प्रेड्स से ट्रेड करिए. So there are both options are open. And even if you see yesterday, the bank Nifty was in a tight range of 100-150 points for a major part of the expiry day. So if you buy, just buy with the trend, wait for some strong breakouts on either side, then you could go in with a call or a put. But I feel थोड़ा hedge करके रहिएगा गौरव जी. Gaurav only has asked the next question, sir. Other finance shares, should I keep, should I sell or keep for the next 4 months? Sunny?
Yeah. Yeah, so basically what I would recommend that continue to hold other finance stock on a valuation basis. It is still cheaper. In fact, I was surprised at a muted listing which other finance got yesterday. And then we saw one of the marquee investor, Mr. Bansali, chipping in, buying a large chunk of the company from the open market. I think in terms of valuation, the company is trading at a relative cheaper valuation. Please stay remain invested for next 4 to 6 months. The next question is from Gaurav Patil. Yeah, thank Gauravji for attending our webinar. Please share investment view for long term on BSC Limited and Tata Power. So Gauravji, I think both the businesses are quality names. First, I will go with BSC Limited. Please continue to stay remain invested. During the last 1 year, the big growth trigger for the BSC has been relaunch of FNO future and options, and that has led to the increase in market share of 7 to 8% as far as BSC Limited is concerned. Despite of the recent regulatory fine by exchange on by SEBI on BSC pertaining to the notional turnover, actual turnover, I think BSC has made the entire provision of 170 crore during the fourth quarter. And to overcome these extra charges, BSC has increased their transaction charges from 13th of May. I feel going forward, the BSC will continue to report a healthy earning growth, and there are many levers which are available for BSC to increase its earnings. So stay remain invested in BSC. Tata Power, I think we have seen a big up move in Tata Power during the last 6 months. Maybe from a short to medium term perspective, we may see some time-wise correction as far as Tata Power is concerned. However, it's a portfolio stock. If you are a long-term investor, maybe 3 to 6 months, you may see some sideways movement. Post that, we may see up move starting in Tata Power. And one has to keep in mind that gradually Tata Power is inching up its renewable energy portfolio, and maybe 2-3 years down the line, we may see a demerger of the renewable energy portfolio and value unlocking over there. But to be very honest, we have already seen a big up move in Tata Power during the last 6 months. Now it's a time for consolidation for next 3 to 6 months. Sudeep, would you like to add technical levels for Tata Power from a medium to long term?
Yeah. See, Tata Power, if you see the long-term trend has been really strong. But it has moved from say around 250 rupees from October 2023 and till May 2024, it has reached a high of around 464. So almost a 75-80% return, and has given away just 15% of this entire rally as a part of a short-term correction. And once again, if you see, it is right now trending up. And given the way the power space is moving, you see almost all the stocks, NTPC, JSW Energy, you name it, and all these stocks are right now just on an uptrend. Even power financing, all these companies, REC, PFC. So all these spaces which is related to power financing, generation. So you're seeing a good momentum, good setup there. So I feel it's a good space to be in. Just hold on and don't try to time any bottom. So even in case you wish to add, you could add it at the current levels also or on slighter dips. Yeah, Vedika Agrawal is saying nice explanation. Thank you so much, Vedika ji. All these comments really gives us a lot of boost, and we really feel happy for you. And see what we also, apart from these comments, what we would request you is like whatever topics you want to know from us, or whatever would be your expectations, you could even write that also, and I would post this session. I would uh, in the chat box put our research email ID also, and you could directly reach me or Sunny and get your queries answered. And also just for the benefit of all the participants right now, see, we do share a lot of information and a lot of important content, whether it is regarding to the market view, whether it is regarding to the result updates, and a lot of important anecdotes. So all these things are shared on the Twitter portal that we have. So we've already pinned that link on the top, so you could click on that link, join us on Twitter, and really you could get all these informative content, which would be quite helpful to you in your regular decision making for from a trading or an investment standpoint.
Yeah, next question is from Mallikarjunji, asking view on IDFC First Bank. I hope you want view from a medium to long term perspective. I think a quality bank from a private sector aspire to grow a balance sheet, double the balance sheet in the next 3 years. I think you should stay remain invested at a current juncture. I feel the fair value of the bank is close to 100 rupees, and so again, IDFC Bank is a case where we have seen a massive run up from rupees 20 to till the time 100, and now then since then stock has been consolidating in the band of 80 to 90 since long time. I think the fair value of the IDFC Bank currently is close to 100 rupees. So a quality bank should be in a portfolio for a medium to long term perspective. So if you can share the technical levels also. Yeah.
Uh, Sunny, technically, if we see, IDFC Bank is currently in a downtrend, but it is approaching its important support level. So the prior there was a breakout around 70 to 73 levels, and post that it never came back to that level. But in the last 3 months, if you see in March and you see currently, this prior breakout has been retested twice. So if there is any move below 72, then there is a cause of worry. But till the time the stock is sustaining above 72 73 levels, I feel it's okay if it consolidates here, and a move above 82 83 levels where the short term moving averages are placed above that zone, the stock could once again roll back up to 1992 levels on the upside. Now the next question. Anuradha Kotaji is asking entry level for Siemens and Hell. Anuradha ji, see, both these stocks, Siemens or Hell, they've run up too fast, too much in the last several sessions or several weeks, I must say. So I would really tell you to just wait for some time for a decent 5-10% correction, maybe in the next few months, whenever the market corrects. There, because these stocks have run up too much, there could be 3 to 5% correction from higher levels. No one knows from what level it could make a top. But if you are just from a investment standpoint, I feel these stocks are now getting a bit expensive. Just wait for some time. There would be a lot of other opportunities. Do not chase expensive stocks right now. Wait for them to cool off a bit, or at least some time-wise correction for a few days. If the stock goes into a sideways consolidation, and then you see a fresh momentum, that is the time to enter these stocks, rather than just chasing them while they've already moved, say, 10-15% in the last few sessions. Infinity, thank you both of you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your comments. Uh, गौरव इंगोले जी पूछ रहे हैं, सर आईपीओ में और मेन बोर्ड में अलॉटमेंट कैसे मिले? गौरव जी, दिस इज द बेस्ट क्वेश्चन दैट आई हैव कम अक्रॉस इन द लास्ट many sessions that I have taken. Fantastic questions. No one has an answer. So I guess even I am searching for an answer. आपको कभी ये आंसर मिल जाए तो आप मुझे बता दीजिएगा गौरव जी. Siddharth Malik ji, sir, how to hedge chemical stocks before post elections and budget? सिद्धार्थ जी, केमिकल स्टॉक्स में जो स्टॉक्स है ज्यादातर वहां पे आप देखिए एसआरएफ या एक दो स्टॉक्स है, वहीं पे स्टॉक ऑप्शंस अवेलेबल है, जो लिक्विड ऑप्शंस है, मतलब नवीन क्लोरीन भी है और दूसरे स्टॉक्स भी है, बट लिक्विड ऑप्शंस आप देखेंगे तो एसआरएफ है या काइंड ऑफ पिडिलाइट है, वहां पे आपको मिल रहे हैं, आरती इंडस्ट्रीज टू सम एक्सटेंट, बट यहाँ पे लिक्विडिटी स्टॉक ऑप्शंस में ज्यादा नहीं होती है, तो आपको स्टॉप लॉसेस के साथ ही काम चलाना पड़ेगा। यहाँ पे आप यहाँ पे बहुत ज्यादा हेजिंग नहीं कर सकते। अगर ओवरऑल पूरा पोर्टफोलियो है, समझिए 10 एक लाख का, लार्ज कैप मिड, विच इज ओरिएंटेड मोर टुवर्ड्स द लार्ज कैप अलॉन्ग विद फ्यू मिड कैप्स, तो जैसे हमने ये सेशन में हेजिंग के रिलेटेड हमने डिस्कस किया था, आप वो फॉलो कर सकते हो। हाउ टू सिलेक्ट stock portfolio stock for short term? Sunny, if you would like to just
So again, a contradicting question. Portfolio stock and short term doesn't go hand in hand. So usually portfolio stock is held for medium to long term. So I will request you to, when if in case you are thinking of creating a portfolio, kindly keep your investment horizon slightly longer, at least 1 year, 2 year. And that should be your medium term investment horizon. And in terms of how to select portfolio stocks, so what we do is that if you want to create a portfolio, usually we stick to the quality large cap and mid cap companies. And at SBI Securities, we keep on getting a lot of requests. Kindly, we want to invest 10 lakh, we want to invest 1 CR, we want to invest 5 CR. Kindly tell us which are the current 15 stocks or 20 stocks where I can deploy by diversifying into various sectors. So we do provide that service also for benefit of all. I think right now, if somebody is looking to create a large cap portfolio, few stocks which will feel can be added from a medium to long term perspective are Axis Bank, ICICI Bank, Poonawalla FinCorp. So these are the three companies which we like from the BFSI space. At the same time, Reliance, a well diversified play on oil and gas and as well as retail story. Ashok Leyland, Mahindra and Mahindra from auto sector. Bharti has delivered a fantastic result. So that can be a part of your portfolio. From FMCG side, one can look at ITC after a long period of consolidation between 400 and 430 band. I think ITC is well placed to move up from that will give a lot of stability to the portfolio due to in case there is a lot of volatility because of election outcome. From large cap pharma side, one can look at Lupin or Cipla. In terms of power side, defensive, one can look at NTPC. From metal, one can ride this story through Vedanta. From cement, one can ride this story through Ultratech. HAL, they have declared a very fantastic set of results today, and the stock was up 10%. So on deep, one can look at HAL, and one stock from PSU basket, that is from railway side, is RVNL. So these are the few companies which we like from a medium to long term perspective. And if you are trying to create a portfolio with investment or around 6 to 12 months, these are the few stocks which can be on your radar. I hope I have been able to answer your question, Sandeep ji. In case you have any further doubt, please feel free to post your query in the chat box again. Yeah, Sudeep, if you can look at this question, what is the entry level of Voltas technically?
See, entry level for Voltas, if you see, Voltas had a big up move in the month of March and till I guess late April, from 1100 to 1500, and from there it has retraced around 50%, almost of that entire move. But right now it is taking support around 1260, 1265, where there was a gap actually on April 8th. So now that gap zone is acting as a strong support, and I feel till the time 1260, 1265 volts, there could be some momentum back in Voltas up to 1390, 1400. So Voltas can be bought on dips with 1265 as a stop loss. जयश्री जी is asking, सर मेरा नाम राजेश सूर्यवंशी है, सिंकॉम फार्मा मेरे पास 3000 है, आगे क्या संभावना है सनी?
Sudeep, you need to look into technicals only. On fundamental side, we have not met the company.
Okay, I guess Syncom formulation. See, this is a penny stock kind of stock, so I feel rather avoid करिए. अभी 3000 है आपके पास, क्या लेवल के है वो आप बता दे तो ज़्यादा बेहतर है. पर मुझे लग रहा है ओवरऑल ये स्टॉक में थोड़ा ऊपर के लेवल से वीकनेस आया है. 18 के लेवल से ये अभी 14 13.5 के आसपास आ चुका है. करेक्शन अच्छा खासा आया है. और यदि इसका जो 200 दिन का मूविंग एवरेज है जो 12 का लेवल है, अगर ये टूट जाता है तो मुझे लग रहा है आपको यहाँ ये स्टॉक से निकल जाना चाहिए. तो थोड़ा सेफ रहिए. और जैसे सनी ने यही कहा ना कि ये जो सारे स्टॉक्स है पेनी स्टॉक्स, वो तो वहाँ पे आपको थोड़ा बच के रहना चाहिए. आपको क्वालिटी कंपनीज में ही पैसा डालना चाहिए. अगर आप क्वांटिटी लेके भी अगर आप चैन के साथ सोना चाहते हो और उसको पोर्टफोलियो को एक लंबी अवधि के लिए आप होल्ड करना चाहते हो, देन क्वालिटी स्टॉक्स को ही प्रेफर करें. और इवन फॉर ट्रेडिंग पर्सपेक्टिव, जो सेक्टर आउट परफॉर्म कर रहा है और वो आउट परफॉर्मिंग सेक्टर में से भी जो कंपनीज ज्यादा अच्छा आपको रिटर्न दे रही है, रिलेटिव स्ट्रेंथ ज्यादा है वहां पे कंपेयर टू देयर ओन सेक्टर, वैसे ही कंपनीज में आप ट्रेडिंग करिए और इन्वेस्ट करिए. तो आपको रिटर्न बनाने के जो आपके मौके हैं, जो प्रोबेबिलिटी है, वो ज्यादा बढ़ जाती है. In view on Kirloskar Brothers and HG Infra, Sunny?
Yeah, so again, very good companies from two different sectors. So I would recommend to stay remain invested in both the companies. So we have seen a massive run up in Kirloskar brother of late. At the same time, we have seen HG Infra has also moved up significantly. So I think stay remain invested should not be an issue in case you are a long term investor. The next question is from Max. I am losing 8.5% in Birla Corp and 3.5% in SCL Tech. Any estimate how long the stock will take time to recover? So fundamentally, I think Birla Corp is the better bet. Even SCL Tech, I don't think so. There will be any significant downside at the current juncture. Birla Corp has reported a very fantastic set of numbers. In fact, outlook is also pretty robust for next financial year. So I think whenever the market recovers, we may see recovery in Birla Corp. But one has to keep in mind that the cement sector, for cement sector, usually monsoon is a weaker quarter because of the monsoon. There is a hampering. The construction activity get hampered, and that lead to the decline in volume for the entire cement industry. So I think the slightly you need to wait for maybe September quarter for December quarter for all these cement companies to start performing. But believe me, nothing wrong in holding on to the Birla Corp. SCL Tech, slightly we are neutral on large cap IT company at the current juncture because of the weak business environment in US. But having said that, I would recommend you to follow technical levels on SCL Tech since the loss is hardly 3.5%. So Sudeep, if you can help with the technical level on HCL Tech at the current juncture.
See, HCL Tech, if you see, while the last quarterly numbers were there, and I guess prior to that, there was a big rally from 1250 to 1700. And since March 2024, it's just a matter of 1.5 2 months, the stock has corrected more than, I guess, 18 to 20%. And that is even a bit of say more compared to the IT index. So it has literally underperformed the IT index. So I feel that don't be in a hurry to chase this stock. Within the IT space also, if you need to just look at anything, if you want to add anything, then go for TCS. That stock is much more stable on charts and on in terms of volatility compared to HCL Tech. So if you're in from an investment standpoint, if you want to look at HCL Tech, then the right levels to look for in HCL Tech would be around 1275, 1280. That zone is the prior breakout zone, say in the month of September 2023. So that was that zone where the stock had consolidated a lot before breaking out. So I feel 1270, 1260 zone will act as a strong support. So on dips towards that zone of 1275, 1280, you could look to add HCL Tech, but not at the current levels. And even for Birla Corp now, if you see Birla Corp, the stock In the last few months, say in the last 2 3 months, has corrected from 1750 or to 1450, but still it is above the old trading zone. So there was a trading zone which was developed in May 2023 from 1000 levels, and till Jan 2024 it was closer to 1365, 1370, and now this zone 1365-70 on the downside also assumes a lot of importance, because this is exactly the 200 DMA, and generally 200 DMA is a very important powerful moving average, and आपको एक ये अंदाजा दे देता है कि स्टॉक अब लॉन्ग टर्म बुलिशनेस में था, वहां से क्या ये शॉर्ट टर्म बेरिशनेस में आ रहा है या लॉन्ग टर्म बेरिशनेस में जा रहा है। तो आपको यहाँ पे एक अंदाजा दे देगा ये स्टॉक 1365 यदि तोड़ेगा तो यू शुड नॉट बी होल्डिंग इट, बट जस्ट वेट फॉर अ वाइल। एज सनी सेड, द सी ऑल दीस सीमेंट स्टॉक्स में थोड़ा बहुत सेलिंग आया है, बट ऑन अ लार्जर टाइम फ्रेम पिक्चर इफ आई सी अ वीकली एंड द मंथली चार्ट, तो मुझे यहाँ पे बहुत ज्यादा बड़ी खराबी नहीं दिख रही है। I guess we are running short of time, so we will quickly take a couple of more questions. गौरव, आप का क्वेश्चन है योर इन्वेस्टमेंट व्यू ऑन रेलवे स्टॉक्स। सनी,
Is it good? Sorry, we are taking question from Gaurav, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Gaurav Ingle. Okay, yeah. Your investment view on railway stock for the next 6 months. Yeah, so basically, I feel railway as a sector is a very well placed, assuming that this government will continue. The focus on railway will be one of the key instrumental focus. But within railway also, what I feel is that right now the story is very well placed for the wagon manufacturer, for the companies like Texmaco Rail, Titagarh Wagon, Jupiter Wagon. All these three companies are saddled with a huge order book, and you will see a massive execution happening over the period of next 2 to 3 years. So railway wagon is a good story. Texmaco Rail especially, they have delivered a very fantastic set of results today. I feel the stock will continue to deliver healthy return. In addition to that, on public sector side, I think BEML again, which is into manufacturing of metro coaches, so that company can be on your radar. In addition to that, companies like RVNL, IRCON, I feel which are more into the execution and EPC project, these companies can also be on radar as far as railway stocks are concerned. And I think somebody was asking on Yes Bank and SBI, Vinayak ji and Anuradha ji. So extremely sorry, we can't share our view on Yes Bank and SBI. Both the companies are associated with SBI Group, and our compliance team doesn't allow to share any view on companies associated with SBI ecosystem. So we will take a last question of the day from Siddharth ji. So there is a mutual fund specific for IPO, namely Edelweiss recently IPO fund. Should we invest a bit in it, as IPO generally remain unallocated? Siddharth ji, I would not recommend you to invest in such an specific thematic IPO, recently IPO fund, because I was just going through their portfolios of what they have done smartly. This mutual fund scheme is investing in the companies which have been listed during the last 2 3 years. So although the name may give you a perception that the companies which are open for IPO, those are the companies where this fund will go and apply for an fund. But ultimately, a mutual fund manager should have a liberty to invest in any companies which is part of the domain, rather than remaining restricted to the companies which have listed during the last 2 3 years. So I think there are many other better mutual funds which are available in the market. Why to go for recently IPO fund only? Let the there are many flexi cap scheme. There are many large cap, micro cap, mid cap, small cap fund which are available in the market. I would recommend you to avoid investing in this thematic IPO of recently IPO fund. Yeah, I think Sudeep, you have covered most of the queries, and it's already 5:20. Thank you all for joining us today evening for this webinar and patiently listening to us. We look forward to your feedback and support for all the forthcoming webinars. So keep your kindly subscribe to all the social media handles of SBI Securities, whether it is YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and kindly keep your notification on so that you keep on getting all the key relevant information on your social media handles. Yeah, over to you, Sudeep, for your last message.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for staying back till this time for the entire length of the session. And one more thing, which I would just like to request you all, apart from Sunny's request of subscribing to all our social media channels, because that will help you to gain knowledge at the fastest speed and be connected with us throughout. Because that is the way, if we share any knowledge, say supposing any breaking news comes on any companies or any result updates or nifty views, so regularly on a minute to minute basis, we are not going to be able to discuss this thing with you, but this is the medium through which we would be able to reach out with our content to you, so that it can benefit you to take informed decisions at the right time in terms of your trade as well as investment journey. And last but not the least, one request: post this session, do share your comments into the YouTube video, and do share it with your friends and relatives. So till the time we meet next, goodbye, take care, and have a great evening ahead. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.